Welcome back to the Shane Plays Let's Play series of Shadowrun Hong Kong. So we are now becoming quote-unquote sinless, which means we're losing our social identification number. It says you scramble up a ladder and through an access way where the sewer system spits you out into the Hong Kong Mass Transit Railway System, the MTR. Crossing the rails, you climb up the platform into the station. So, the last time I played was about a week ago. I apologize for the pause. Life got in the way, but I am going to continue with this series. They basically said, hey, we're going to go talk to the big boss. You guys come along in a few minutes, and we can't be seen walking with you right now. And then my partner kind of gave his story about where he's been and all that, and we kind of had the bro moment where we found out that the stuff we were mad at about each other, some of it was a misunderstanding. But anyway, I digress. Let's get going and see what we can find. We have to go to this man, I can't remember. It says Hoi. A makeshift boat city latched onto the Kai Tak riverfront like a parasite. Behind you, a massive snarl of dark and derelict high-rises dominates the horizon, the walled city. And Duncan, my partner, said, I don't see a mahjong parlor. And we're supposed to find a mahjong parlor. So, yeah, just go to the mahjong parlor. Let me turn the... There we go. Let's get a little bit of music and sound going here. I don't think... I do have some karma points. Do I want to spend anything right now? All I have right now is throwing weapons. I have these little knives, but I don't want to pump anything into that because I'm wanting to go ranged weapons. And I'm reading there's some really good cyberware, which I may want to do. There's this this monofilament whip is evidently really sweet. So I may, even though I've kind of started putting points into the ranged weapons, I may kind of go for this monofilament whip. Let's see here. What can I do? I've already put a couple of points in the body. Alright, so now I've got cyberware affinity. Alright, so now I've unlocked that. And I've only got 2 left. 2 karma, so I'm gonna save that and work on getting up to monofilament whip. So even though I initially thought I would go ranged weapons, which is I normally do a ranged weapon street samurai type character. I think I like this cyberware affinity stuff, which is new in the Shadowrun computer games from Harebrained. I'm sure that in the Shadowrun role-playing game that's been around for a while. But they've kind of updated what you can do with cyberware in this game. Previous games did have cyberware. You could have it installed and have it do stuff, but this seems like they've taken it to a little further. So, let's see. Frederick Kafai. What you got? That's close enough, friend. The club is members and invites only. I suggest you just move along. Say, gotcha. Say, come on, man. My friends are already inside. Can I just go look around for a second? He's going to say no, but I'm going to ask anyway. Sure, come on, man. It's the oldest line in the book to bouncers. He's not going to buy it. No. So, I didn't expect that to work, but everyone tries it in real life. Why not in the game? Triad Guard. Thug looks at you dead-faced. Despite his street clothes, he wears a high-tech earpiece. The entrance to the walled city is closed to foreigners. Okay. So that's a couple of dead-end NPCs at the moment. Everything's very colorful and pretty. So Club 88, that's where we were not allowed to go into. Cool looking atmosphere. She doesn't seem happy. Is that a he or a she sleeping there? Sleeping while fishing, I suppose? Doesn't look like I can do anything here. What is this bolt hole all about? The original name has been sloppily painted over with black paint. Newer but somewhat weathered characters have been painted in bold brush strokes and read bolt hole. So I guess that's what those characters mean there. Bolt hole. Which, if I understand right, bolt hole means a hiding place. Now I cannot go up these stairs. That's just decoration or art. It's not actually interactable. I can't talk to anybody here, evidently. Interesting looking neighborhood. Shadowrun Dragonfall kind of gave you a neighborhood as your base of operations, not just one building. And I'm guessing they've done the same thing with Hong Kong. I'm guessing this neighborhood is going to be our base of operations. It looks very cool. I can't interact with anything, but it looks cool. Look at this. You can see the line there. I don't know if that's a bug or what, but it kind of kills the effect a little bit of the water. None of these people want to talk to me. Reliable Matthews Robot Bazaar. This stuff's on sale. I cannot talk to Reliable Matthew right now. I'm guessing some of this stuff will unlock. Some of these vendors and stuff will unlock maybe as I get further into the game. Hope so anyway. I hope they didn't give me a full neighborhood of just window dressing. Alright. This is where I'm supposed to go, the Mahjong Parlor. Let's see what else is in this neighborhood. Oh, here's somebody. Smuggler. Just off the dock, she spotted a sea-worn man with a smile that's almost too wide for his head. His teeth shine white against the thick black bush of his beard. His clothes are a myriad of colors, patterns, and fabrics, a smattering of cultures draped across his body. If there's anything he's clearly advertising, it's the extent of his travels. The smuggler says, "You see something you like?" His voice is coarse, like steel wool on your eardrums. "Come and get it, because now's your last chance. Everything is on sale. Won't find prices like these anywhere else, my friend." Say, "Show me we're selling you from around here. These goods of yours look like they've changed hands a few times. You selling stolen merchandise." I'm gonna say, "You from around here?" "Nope, not I. Not here. Plans to leave these waters as soon as I wrangle up enough supplies to do so." He leans towards you, voice lower, breath surprisingly free of alcohol. "There are things happening here. Locals call them dreams. I call them evil. And I don't want no more of that." So what did you dream about? Does it matter? All I remember clearly is how I felt during and after. Drained. As if these dreams leached away some of my good years. No, no. No more of that. If you know what's good for you, you'll leave too. So you really think they're that bad? No doubt about it. They're evil, all right. And things like that will only get worse. And even if they don't, you'll never forget them. The feelings, the thoughts. They set into your mind like a stain. Oh, so show me what you're selling. Alright, how much new yen do I have? I have 1,251. Ooh, a katana. I really feel like that I need... I really feel like that I need a ranged weapon, because I have pumped some points into that. Here's some programs. I think, yeah, I'm gonna buy another grenade. I need another dock wagon trauma kit. And I need a couple of basic med packs. So let's confirm all that. How much am I spending? 425. Now, ooh. So this is, they both do the same damage. They both have the same range. I guess if you have SMG as a skill, I'm going to go ahead and buy this pistol. The reason I'm not spending a lot on the ranged weapon right now is because I may switch over to um, the cyber weapons. So gear, yeah, I want that. Okay, confirm. All right. Let's see what I can do here. Let's go to the Mahjong parlor. Mahjong, however you want to say it. Yeah, it's awful pretty in here. Um, the Swift Winds Mahjong parlor, Mahjong, however you say it. Somebody needs to put in comments, tell me how to say it. Filled with the stink of cigarette smoke. And I missed what it said. All right. Come in. We have a lot to talk about. So people are playing Mahjong, setting at the tables. Kindly Cheng. You can feel every eye in the room as you cross the Mahjong parlor to the middle-aged woman sitting patiently at its end. The click-clack of ivory-colored tiles stops. Hands stray beneath tables, into jacket pockets behind bags. The woman has the face of a prison guard and in the demeanor of an inmate. Her salt and pepper hair is pulled into an iron-hard bun, and beneath it, two shiny black eyes offer nothing. Buttons sewn on it all. A nearly empty bottle of something foul rests on her Mahjong table, nestled between a pair of dirty shot glasses. Let's see, look at that. Tiny puddles of brown linger at their bottoms. Gobbet and Isabel stand on the other side of the table, heads lowered, shoulders slumped, hands clasped. They risk a frightened glance at you as you approach. So I guess that's her and her. Kindly Cheng. Kindly Cheng's voice is nasal and rusty mean. My little pair of screw-ups here told me all about what happened on the docks. She dips a pinky into a shot glass, brings it to her mouth, removes it with a sharp smack. How two of my best runners had their heads put out. I'm going to try to get a little bit better on her voice because I don't think I'm doing well on her voice. How you need protection and how you need to get your identities wiped before you get your heads put out too. Potentially leading the heat to my front door, placing me and everyone in my employ in danger. She fingers the rim of her glass. So wise, so very, very wise. The young shaman's eyes never leave the floor. We're sorry, Auntie. We thought... Her black eyes flash. You mustn't speak until you are spoken to, Gobbet dear. The smile turns mean. And since you are one short hair away from being dumped in the river chained to Isabel's corpse, I suggest you let your new friends here do the talking for a while. Does that make sense to you, dear? Her treacle voice is back, sweet, nasal, and grinding. Dark circles ring Gobbet's armpits. Yes, Auntie. Ching declines her head gently. Very good. You learn so quickly. I could say Gobbet kept a very cool head in a tense situation. She's the one who led us out of the police ambush. I'm just going to remain silent. Let her do her thing. She pours another drink. Her cheeks are rosy, already flushed. Now, my darlings, I understand from little rat crap here that you came from Seattle to meet with my client, Mr. Black. Wu's jaw tightens at the word client. But before you could find him, the HKPF started splattering gray matter everywhere and everything went to crap. And now you need your sins burned so you can disappear before you end up dead too. Is that right? Say, is that possible? Yes, ma'am. Can you help us? I'm going to say, yes, ma'am. Or I'm going to say, can you help us? We'll see, my dear. Why don't we start off with you telling me who you are? I'm going to say call me Ying. Oh, you've already chosen a street name. How prescient of you. Cheng looks at you approvingly. Ying. It's a good name. Has real character. She flutters her eyelashes at you. Now what's your real name? I mean, do you want me to erase your identities, don't you, dear? You want me to erase your identities, don't you? I need to know who you are first. I'll say, Hoi, I guess what you call me is a street samurai. Hoi, I'll do what needs doing. I'm going to say Hoi, I do what needs doing. She rests her chin on her hand. I know the type. And how did you become someone who does what needs doing, Hoi? I could say I was military, then I wasn't. Corp trained you as a wage slave for a while, learned to trade. These are all lies, by the way. Private security, I spent a little time with Knight Errant, picked it up young, I've been in a cooler for a few. Let's just say I'm self-taught and leave it at that. I'm going to say, let's just say I'm self-taught and leave it at that. Wu lets out a grunt. Better leave it at that. Kindly Ching whips her head towards Wu, a nasty retort already on her lips. But then she stops, sticks out her lower lip as she sizes him up. She turns to her lieutenant standing behind her, nodding her approval. Looks like the gun show is in town. What's your name? Gun show? Wu's focus remains straight ahead. Duncan Wu. I'm a cop. Lone Star. I hear there were some fresh corpses found in the docks tonight. Smugglers, I believe. Didn't sound like the Hong Kong police when I heard about it. You're doing Duncan Wu? Wu's eyes remain fixed on a spot in the wall behind her. He smolders. I identified myself as a Lone Star, but they wouldn't stand down. They had weapons. It was self-defense. She puckers her lips at him, her voice sing-song. I don't care, sweetie. They weren't my people. But now I know you're a life-taker, Mr. Gunshow. You and your friend here. She begins arranging mahjong tiles on the table in front of her. But now I'm curious. Why were you meeting Raymond Black on the docks tonight? Raymond Black is our foster father. He's a friend, said he needed our help, or just out for a stroll. It was a beautiful night. I'm going to say, he's a friend, said he needed our help. Ching's black eyes flash. Really? You have a lot of 65-year-old friends who you'll fly around the world to help? He raised us. Raymond Black is our foster father. That makes her pause. Ching lifts her bottle of swill and eyes the label, connecting the dots in her own head. Interesting. A look of disgust passes over her face. Sorry, kids, but he was looking like crap when I saw him. Eyes half open, dark circles around them, dragging his feet, the whole bit. She tiss in displeasure. Your foster daddy was in a bad place. So you think it was drugs? Tell us everything you know about him. Sounds like he wasn't sleeping. I'm say sounds like he wasn't sleeping. Could be. From what he said, it sounded like he was having nightmares. He would stop in the middle of a sentence, mutter something to himself. One time it was about the walls breathing or something. Another time it was about teeth. Thousands of teeth. I remember him drifting off near the end of our meeting. It looked like he was off somewhere else in his head. He said, I left prosperity in there. Then Nightjar put his hand on Mr. Black's shoulder, asked him why he wanted to go into the walled city so badly. That seemed to bring him back. When your old man opened his eyes, they were full of tears. Then he muttered something else I couldn't make out. She pours herself another shot, tosses it back, and rubs her belly. Your daddy got real irritating after a while. I say, what do you think it means? I can imagine. How do you lead prosperity? Do you think prosperity could be a person? I'll say, what do you think it means? I have no clue. She grabs a long, slim cigar from a pack on the mahjong table, lights it. All right, let's get to it. She exhales smoke and points two fingers at you and Wu. You two need your sins burned, and you need them burned fast. Hong Kong dragnets are bad news. When they roll in force. Armored personnel carriers, heavy armor, heavy weapons, sorcerers, the whole thing. And they aren't coming to arrest you. She folds her arms across her chest. The thin cigar bobs in her mouth as she speaks. The good news is I can help you. With a wave of my hand, I can have your sins disappear. But you need to understand, my darlings, What you're asking is not a simple request. Burning a sin isn't just deleting a number. It's wiping all reference to that number from all of the world's largest databases. It's masking your mugshots in their facial recognition database so that the first camera you walk past doesn't bring them down on you like a ton of bricks. It's covering our flippant tracks so the act of burning your sin doesn't lead them right to us. It requires contacts in numerous corporations and the UCAS government. Smoke rolls out of the trial boss's nose. It requires someone like me. And the UCIS, I think, is United something States, something American States. It's whatever the United States has become in this future. Therefore, I need to make a choice. She takes another drag on her cigar and gently places her palm flat on the table. Do I kill you and dispose of your bodies before the cops come looking for you? Or do I help you burn your sins? See, I know my vote. How would killing us benefit you? We're more valuable alive. Help us and we'll help you. Like I say, etiquette gang, if I were you, I'd be more interested in protecting my rep. 2 of your people were just clipped. If you don't do something about that, it's a show of weakness. Or etiquette Shadowrunner, you may want to think about your rep as a fixer. 2 of your runners were taken down by cops, and you have no idea why. I'm going to use etiquette gang. I'm going to say if I were you, I'd be more interested in protecting my rep. 2 of your people were just clipped. If you don't do something about it, it's a show of weakness. Cheng rests her head on her hand and smiles at you coldly. So clever. So clever. Her chin stays on her hand, but her eyes look past you, surveying the Yellow Lotus soldiers in the room. Yes, I have been placed in a delicate situation, haven't I? Regardless. That's the situation whether you're alive or you're sucking dirt. She stares at you for a long moment, chin still in her hand, thinking. Taps her ash on the floor without taking her eyes off of you. A low, reluctant growl rumbles somewhere deep in her throat. You live. You're clever, and I like that. I'll put your sins to the torch. However, I'll need to call in several valuable favors within my network to do it, and those favors do not come cheap. Kindly Cheng stubs out her cigar. You will owe me. Say, what do you want us to do? Whatever you say, Auntie. You can't say I'm surprised. I'm going to say, what do you want us to do? I want you to deliver a message for me to a business associate in the walled city. The Yellow Lotus has a strong presence inside, Hoy. Isabel can tell you all about it, can't you, dear? Isabel grew up in the walled city. Isabel's eyes remain lowered. They collect taxes for the corporations, extort protection money from shopkeepers, run drugs, guns, people. They hurt people. Kindly, we do those things, yes. But to be fair, we also operate the walled city's black market. You might not be alive today if it weren't for the lifeline that we provide. Isabel climbs up tight. Cheng picks up a mahjong tile, turns it with her fingers. There is a red pole, sort of enforcer, yes, on the inside. His name is Strangler Bale. Bale's a strong man, a good soldier, but he has forgotten his place. I need you to remind him. How are we supposed to do that? You want us to make an example of him? Let me guess. By remind him, you mean put a bullet in his head. I say, want us to make an example of him? Did I say that I wanted you to make an example of him? No. I want you to deliver a message. She tosses you a memory stick. Bring this to him in my name. And remember that Bao's men are my men. By right, they should all be serving me. Killing them would be a waste of resources. I have no use for dead soldiers. She turns to Gobbet and Isabel. One of you will go with these 2 Westerners to the walled city. Help them locate Bao and show them the ropes. The other will remain here with me. I have several menial and degrading tasks that need doing around the establishment. No matter who goes and who stays, you'll both pay for bringing an APB to my doorstep. Yes, Auntie. Yes, Auntie. Now, I'm going to find out who ordered the hit on Nightjar and do some dentistry on him with power tools. She closes her eyes and smiles with pleasure. That boy was my favorite. He sang to me sometimes. She opens her eyes and again sneers. The other one I don't care about. Got shot. He was a butthole. She turns away and waves you off with the back of her hand. That will be all, my darlings. Return to me when you are done. Say one last question, Auntie. Thanks for the favor, Auntie. I say deal. Deal. Who turns to leave? Well, we're still alive. That's something. And I gain 3 karma. Does that let me do the monofilament whip? Have I locked up? It does let me do the monofilament whip. I love it. Okay. So, there's nobody else I can talk to here other than Auntie. What does it say? It says, enter the walled city and deliver a message to Strangler Bayo. I guess I'm saying that right. Bayo? Like Scott Baio? That's a old Happy Days reference, really. Scott Baio, he played Chachi in Happy Days, and Joni loves Chachi. He was in Charles. He was Charles in Charles in Charge. I think that was in the 80s. So, all right. Well, there's no. Do I want to talk to her again? I think you have business to attend to, Ying. Now go away. I'm busy. She has her head buried in her PDA and her hand on her bottle. She doesn't look up at you. So basically, in game terms, you can't talk to me again until you finish the mission. I don't know who I want to take. I guess when I leave the area, it'll let me choose somebody to take. I don't know if I want a Decker or a Mage. So I'm getting a little indicator here. I guess I should go this way. I don't think any of the vendors have opened up for me yet. Law's Techno Palace. Huh. This is the subway station. Triad Guard. Okay, so I can get past him now. In the walled city. Can't go in there. What is this? Use intercom. Massive steel security doors set into a bunker-like concrete wall. There is no sign or identification of what this place is. A battered intercom is encased in a cage of welded steel and armor glass. Grainy letters are barely readable on the screen. Chrome Alley, medical services and mechanical repair. Premises protected by deadly weapons and infectious diseases. I wonder if this is where I can get cyberware. Press the buzzer. There's a crackle of static, then a brusque voice answers. What do you want? Say, is this a medical clinic? What is this place? Knock knock, I need some medicine. I'm gonna say, knock knock, I need some medicine. Haha, very funny. Listen guy, I don't know you. I don't like people I don't know. What are you doing here? Who sent you? I'm gonna say I'm doing a job for Kindly. A job for Kindly, huh? You and every other hood in the Kong. Come back if you want, if you get some wheels around here. Otherwise, screw off. There's a burst of static and the intercom goes dead. Let me try it again. You again, I thought you had told you to screw off. Say, I'm friends with Isabel and Gobbit. Yeah, those two dragged some real prizes out of the river? You get Nightjar to vouch for you. I'll consider giving you the time of day. Got it? So you don't keep up with current events, do you? Nightjar's dead. There's a long silence on the intercom. Crime, shame if that's true. And I saw that one coming. So you just washed up with Isabel and Gobbit, huh? You know what that tells me? You're here today, and you'll be gone tomorrow. I'll keep my distance. Say, I'm one of Kindly's people. Really, huh? I'll just check on that. There's a long, static-laden silence on the intercom. When it reactivates long enough for 2 words to reach you. Screw off. So I'm not getting in there yet. In the real world, if I was in Hong Kong and using somebody's name like that, like Kindly, it might get me killed. Alright, the insulation on these heavy wires is cracked. They buzz and crackle occasionally as stray drips from the awning strike them. Okay. Alright, doesn't look like much I can do. I was hoping to go to a vendor. But let's head this way. Let's go back to the Triad Guard. I think I said Triad earlier, but I'm pretty sure it's Triad. The thug taps his earpiece, gestures with his head. Aunty Cheng said you'd be coming. You can pass. Uh-huh. When traveling to new mission locations, you'll be able to choose which members of your team to bring and modify their loadout for the run. When members of your team become permanently incapacitated on a mission, they'll be automatically extracted for emergency medical care. They will be patched up and ready for action the next time you return to Hue. Avoid this loss of firepower by always carrying some dock wagon trauma kits into the field. So it's basically saying that that my team members won't die. Okay, do I want a Decker or do I want the Shaman? I think I'm going to take Gobbet. All right. I don't know why. I'm just thinking I don't need to deck on this turn, on this run. Yes, I want to travel to the walled city. City of Darkness. Kowloon Walled City, the most densely populated spot on Earth. Nearly 40,000 people crammed into 7 acres of chaos, poverty, disease, and vice. A self-contained city that collects no taxes and provides no city services. Stagnant water sits in temporary wells. Trash lies piled on roofs for controlled burns. Improvised structures lean dangerously over populated areas. It's the ideal breeding ground for all manner of illicit trade: drugs, gambling, black market trade, metahuman trafficking, and everything in between. The only law is triad law. And now you need to enter this septic system of a city, find a triad enforcer named Strangler Bayo, and deliver a message from Kindly Cheng. So, 7 acres is really not that large, and 40,000 people crammed into it is crazy. All right, so I want that absolutely. Uh, how am I gonna do? Okay, so this is. I guess that's how Duncan is outfitted. Okay. Game auto-saved. What is this, an intermission? Come on. Foul, oily water rains down from above, mixes with the filth and offal and swill of the streets, turns it into a flowing slurry of unrecognizable sewage. In the distance, the sounds of back alley activity add to the ambiance of your arrival. Breaking glass, the crackling hiss of a garbage fire, faint screams of terror punctuated by the occasional gunshot. Sex and business and violence and misery blended into one. Wu winces at the stink, waves a hand in front of his face. Raymond said that prosperity is in the walled city, but I don't see it. Why the hell would we want to set, or would he want to set one foot in this place? Got it. You got me. As I said, the walled city is the worst slum in the Eastern Hemisphere. Maybe in the world. A rat pokes its head out of a fold in her clothing, squeals softly. She reaches up a hand to comfort it. There's something wrong with this place. It isn't just a slum, it feels poisonous somehow, on an astral level. It churns my stomach to even come near it. Wu nods in agreement. Okay, you are right. This isn't the Barrens. It feels, I don't know, thicker. He goggles the place. Which way? Got it. The Lotus Den. That's what Bale calls his little corner of hell. I don't know where it is offhand, but I have a way of finding things. There's a flurry of motion in her hip, and a second pair of beady eyes appears. Gobbet shifts her head from one rat to the other, stroking each in turn. They probably aren't expecting anyone to come in force. We can kick in the door, drop the guards, hand over the message, and get the hell out. Kindly doesn't want them dead. She wants them to remember where their loyalties lie. It's tough to remember much of anything when you've got a bullet in your head. I mean, we could kill them if you really wanted to. Technically, Bayo is the only one that has to live. But I'd rather keep Aunty Cheng happy than piss her off again. So that'll be up to them. This group's safety is my biggest concern. We don't need to risk our necks for a bunch of triad thugs. We may need Kindly Cheng, but she doesn't own us. We make our own decisions. I'm going to say that'll be up to them. If they don't try and kill us, We don't dust them. Got it. Let's get this done. Deliver the data streak to Strangler Bao. Duncan and Goblin must survive. Do not kill any Yellow Lotus, and that's optional. There's a little bit of parallax going on here. See that with the way the building is moving? That's nice. Nice effect. Because this is not really a 3D game. I mean, there's some 3D avatars and stuff, but it's basically a 2D isometric game. A putrid stench emanates from the remains of this building. You see nothing that would cause it. There's somebody else sleeping in a tent. Pretty crazy. Pretty crazy. Over here! Help! Is it a trap? Our intrepid heroes will find out. Bloodied woman. A young woman lies on the ground. She's a bloody mess. Streaks and spatters of crimson crisscross her blouse and mat her hair. Judging by the quality of her clothing and the bag on her shoulder, you'd make her out as a student. She's about as out of place here as a librarian would be in a game of urban brawl. She struggles to move, but she's clearly exhausted. The dark circles under her eyes tell that she hasn't slept in days. Bloodied woman. When the woman sees you heading her way, her face hardens. You see her hand slip into her jacket pocket. But she studies your faces. The fear in her eyes gives way to curiosity. You guys don't look like you're from around here. A hacking cough shakes her, but her eyes remain fixed on you. I'll say, you either. Who are you? I could say that's right, we're out-of-towners, what happened to you? But I'm going to say you either. Who are you? I'm a student at HKU. I'm guessing that's Hong Kong University. She glances around watchfully. Over your shoulder, at the nearby buildings looming above her into the windows nearby. Doing some research. Gotta finish before I can leave. Say, this place is dangerous. What are you doing here alone? You look like you haven't slept in days. What kind of research? Say, this place is dangerous. What are you doing here alone? I wasn't alone. Not till a few days ago. Another long, wet cough. I'd been living with a family in one of the inner blocks for the last couple of months, working on my master's thesis. Say, funny place to write a thesis. Her voice takes on a defensive edge. It's the right place for mine. My thesis is on feng shui in the sixth world. Academic, still in data gathering phase, or are you attempting to verify a hypothesis? Okay, I can't do that anyway. Say, what's feng shui? Feng shui? Feng shui? Although she is exhausted and possibly ill, the student's eyes gleam. Feng shui is one of the 5 arts of Chinese metaphysics. Before the awakening, it was thought of as a philosophical system for harmonizing people with the surrounding environment. Oh, feng shui. Okay, I know feng shui. I guess I just haven't seen it spelled. You know, architecture, interior design, stuff like that. Now in the 6th world, feng shui has become more than that. My thesis is about how it's actually a form of magic. The whole thing revolves around qi, the invisible life energy that binds every person and thing together. It's very real here in Hong Kong. Nobody knows the reason why. Maybe it's only real because people believe that it is. The important thing is it's a measurable, quantifiable phenomenon. There's an entire industry that's grown up around it. Say, how's the key in this place? Or this doesn't look like a place where people are harmonized with anything. I'm going to say this doesn't look like a place where people are harmonized with anything. No, it isn't. Not at all. The feng shui in the walled city is completely screwed. I mean, just look at the place. She gestures at the squalor surrounding it. The key is all wrong here. You could feel it, right? I felt that something was wrong the minute I walked in. Bad key, huh? Yeah, bad feng shui. Key needs to flow or it goes sour. Positive feng shui allows that to happen. The woman clears her throat, then lets out a hacking cough. The effort requires a moment for her to recover before she speaks again. You know, I hate to admit it, but I could use some help. I started running well, I guess you could call it an experiment of sorts. Nothing conclusive, just a few quick trials to support my hypothesis before I go into hardcore data gathering mode. There are only a few things left to do. If you could finish them for me, I could get out of here. She holds out a crumpled piece of paper. Please, follow the notes on the sheet. Duncan takes the paper from her outstretched hand and examines it, frowning. Just say what you need us to do. I need you to make adjustments to the area. Sorry, I'm trying to do voices here. I need you to make adjustments to the area's feng shui. My notes will tell you how. The goal is to remove sources of friction and to record the results. My hypothesis is that even small adjustments can have a measurable impact on key flow. If I'm right, it should improve, and life here should get just a little bit better. I'll say, I'll see what I can do. Alright. Repair the walled city. What is it? Notepad. Oh, the note has a list of repairs. Most of them crossed off. There are some left, scrawled in an easy hand. Sparking wires of the trinket man. Broken water shutoff valve, lower level. Burning tires, past market. Okay. Alright, I'll see what I can do, dear. La la la. Let's go to the merchant. What's up, merchant? Street vendor gestures towards a jumbled pile of tarnished chains, costume jewelry, and trinkets on a stained flannel blanket. Look at these beauties. Very valuable, very pretty. So show me what you're selling. What's been going on around here? I heard Strangler Bale's making a move. How can you stand this place? Ever heard anyone say prosperity is in the walled city? Say, have you ever heard anyone say prosperity is in the walled city? No. That's not something that someone would say around here. Say, what's been going on around here? I heard Strangler Bayo's making a move. The vendor's eyes narrow and he glances over your shoulder before he speaks. Strangler's men are getting reckless. Too dangerous to do business in the old market now. I had to move shop. The old market is deeper inside the walled city, right? So isn't just being out here on the edge kind of a step up? Depends on how good of a spot you had. Mine was good. People living deeper inside want pretty things too, and no one else was selling them there. He looks from left to right and then shrugs. Maybe this will be a good spot. Have to wait and see. I'm going to say, show me what you're selling. And all he has is fetishes. I'm not going to spend 400 million on a fetish. I'm going to say, how can you stand this place? He gives you the stink eye. You mean my home? The vendor softens, becomes wistful. In my experience, you can get used to anything regardless of how horrible it is. It just becomes normal after a while. But this place is getting worse, no question about it. The last 20, 30 years, it's been nothing but downhill. Nothing goes right here. Maybe you could change that, though, by buying something, huh? See you around. Wires are sparking dangerously just above the doorway. So I think this is one of the things I'm supposed to do for the, that's pretty good sparking effect. Patch the worn out wire coating using intelligence too. A quick patch job with some nearby waste rubber leaves the wire safe once more. Okay, so that's one of 3 things for the walled city. Hey, not only do I deliver messages, I fix feng shui. Just running around the walled city. Yellow Lotus Captain. Step back or you'll regret it. A well-muscled and heavily tattooed triad member looks up from his PDA, bored but alert. Behind him, other Yellow Lotus soldiers take notice and turn to leer at you. Yellow Lotus Captain. You're in the wrong neighborhood, tourist boy. You and your little tourist friends. I'm a local jackass. I work for Aunty Cheng. We all do. Show some respect. Triad soldier sneers at her. That's so. And you already know that you shouldn't be here. That fossil doesn't run things around here anymore. His hand strays to his jacket in a conspicuous bulge in the fabric. Could be a gun, a knife, or a blackjack. Let's get moving, little girl. Best move before we hurt you all real bad. I'm not going to tell you twice. Say, we're here to deliver a message to Strangler Bayo. Relax, we're just here to check on the local messages. Say, relax, we're just here to check on the local map. Check in on the local merchants. The merchants belong to Bayo now. He waves you off. Get lost. Alright, so there's definitely... What happened? I don't want to fight. I wasn't... Why am I fighting? Who are they fighting? I don't want to fight anybody. Can I... They seem to be pointing this way. I really don't want to get into a fight. Huh. I guess I'm going to go into Overwatch. I'm really not sure what's going on here. I'm going to get him in cover. I'm going to get her in cover. I should have put my other dude in cover. And okay, yeah, so I am fighting them. I figured I was, but since they were all pointing different directions, I thought maybe there was some off chance that I wasn't fighting them. How very annoying. Get him in some cover, first of all. Got a 77% chance. 1 damage. Dude's pretty tough. Screw the job. Well, I didn't have any choice. They made me fight. Slowed my movement by 2. That wasn't very nice of him. And then he attacked his own guy. I guess the guy lost control of his own elemental that he summoned. These guys are going down. We're dropping these guys like nobody's business. It's kind of a silly fight because that elemental turned on them and did have to work for me. I really didn't want to fight these guys. There's the Lotus Den. Is that where? Well, so in order to get in there, I had to... Maybe there's another way to get in. We told you to get lost. You didn't listen. Now I'm thinking you need to be taught a lesson. Okay, so I think there was a bug with those guys triggering on me. Or I don't know. Because in order to go to the Lotus Den, I had to get past those guys. So I don't know. What is this? Spiritual energy. Gobbet comes up short. She gestures down at a pile of filthy rags on the ground, a man's shirt encrusted with dried blood and grime. Hey, hold up. This cloth has a lot of negative energy coming off of it. I think there's a spirit bound to it. Interesting. What can you tell me about this spirit? This is kind of a cool setup right here with all the graphics. Well, it's a ghost. Either that or a spirit of man that thinks it's a ghost. It's hard to be sure. I'm not sure what a spirit of man means. I mean, I know what this... from the biblical perspective. She stares at the cloth, frowning. Whatever it is, it's upset. I can feel its anger and sorrow from here. That's all I can get from it while it's hiding like this. I could coax it out of the cloth and talk with it if you want. Maybe it'll lead to something, she shrugs. Or it could attack us and rip out our souls. There's no way to tell without trying. Spirit summoning to bring the spirit forth. I'm up for a spirit chat. Go ahead and do it, Gobbit. I want to hear what the spirit has to say, or I can walk away. I want to hear. Yeah, what's it got to say? Sure thing. Her eyes go beady and her nose crinkles. Just let me try to establish a connection. The air above the bloody rag shimmers. Slowly, something close to a man shape, coalesces into being. A soft voice echoes out from deep inside, as if it began somewhere else. What is this? The spirit peers at you through eyes as soft and undefined as poached eggs. Where am I? So you're dead, I'm sorry. You've shed your body, you're a spirit now. Kowloon, the walled city. I'm going to say Kowloon, the walled city. His expression changes, moves from lost to found. Still? It raises its hands to examine them, blank eyes sweeping over its dead flesh. How? So you don't know what happened? What's the last thing you remember? I'm going to say, what's the last thing you remember? The last thing. Spirit searches the sky for an answer. I was pushed out of my shop, hunted through alleys. Spirit's mouth widens in horror. Baal and his men. I wouldn't pay them, wouldn't accept their protection. Proud. I was too proud. A cold light flares from somewhere deep in its throat. They tore me apart, butchered me like a duck. It searches the sky, the ground, tearing at the memories inside itself. As it relives its own death, a network of deep cuts opens in its waxy skin, spattering black ichor on the ground. The cold light within it grows brighter. It pulses up the thing's throat and into its mouth, forcing its jaw to unhinge like a snake's. A burning radiance pours out of the spirit's mouth like vomit, spattering onto the ground, an ectoplasmic flood of anger and despair. I could say, well, that was nasty. Or say, if I was in your shoes, I'd want revenge. Or I'll say, maybe you can help us. I'm going to say, maybe you can help us. Help? It looks confused. I can. You can get us past Baal's guards into the walled city, so we can find him. You could take out Baal's guards, give them some of what they gave you. Well, it's too late. I've already taken the guards out. You can get us past Baal's guards into the walled city, so we can find him. The spirit's eyes roll in its head and it shudders, struggling to let the passion dissipate. I had a friend. It squeezes its eyes shut as it struggles to remember. A smuggler of animals. He had a space, hidden, secret. Yes, spirit, tell me about the secret place. Or, you know what? Screw it. You deserve your revenge. See those guards? They work for Baal, the man who had you killed. We'll say, yes, spirit, tell me about the secret place. An entrance in the sub-levels. The spirit clasps its head in its hands. A chute, a door, red paint, numbers. 5465. 5465. Thank you, spirit. The entity squeezes its eyes shut and turns away. 5465. 5465. 5465. Okay. Smuggler's Den code. A door with red graffiti nearby. Code 5465. Okay. So, I think that's too little too late, because I already took these guards out like the chumps that they are. They never had a chance. I'm going to do a little bit more exploring, see what's going on here. And then if there's nothing else I can uncover on this map, then I'm probably going to go to the Lotus Den and then save. But we shall see. Okay, there's her. I can't get back there. That's the lady we got the quest from, or the task, or whatever. Oh, a merchant. What you got, merchant? A bedraggled old woman looks up from her sewing at the sound of your approach. Clothing. I have good quality clothing for sale. I'm going to say, ever heard anyone say prosperity is in the walled city? She cocks her head like a dog, listening to a noise that it can't understand. Prosperity? She sounds it out to herself. I don't understand what that means. Walk away. Later, lady. did I come in at? I think it was here. Wasn't it? Yeah. Okay. Sorry for the jarring screen transitions there as I'm moving around the screen. Okay, I can go. Can I go this way? How far can I go? I guess that's as far as I can go. I can't go over here. I can go there. I've heard lower levels mentioned a couple of times. Okay, this is the guy that has fetishes, I'm pretty sure. Yep. Alright, so we'll get out of here. See you around. What is this? Inspect. This market stall has been picked clean, its owner replaced by a pool of dried blood. So it seems like the merchants are not doing so hot in the walled city under Bao's quote-unquote management. This is new. Oh, look at that. You come upon a heavily muscled triad soldier screaming at a bearded old man holding a bleeding nose. The punk wags a cheap, disposable cred stick in the old man's face. This? The bright plastic case would look cheerful if it weren't smeared with blood. This isn't enough. You've got two options, old man. You can find a way to pay me all the money, or you can drag your bony ass deeper into the wall. Find a spot for yourself there with the pimps and the predators. They should find a nice use for you. Your choice. The old man wails, "It's not fair. I can't just pack up and leave. I've been living here 22 years and is this how it's going to be?" He rolls his burly shoulders. "Fine by me." Dang. Alright. Inspect. What's going on here, partner? He's out cold. Is there anything I can do for him? Guess not. There's these burning tires. These tires have been set aflame and have been burning for some time. The smell is awful. Walk away. Well, what can I... That was on the list of things to do. I guess I can't do anything about it. Not right now, anyway. Okay, so... Bucket... I'll go get this. There we go. Yay, bucket of sand. Move back here. Pour the bucket of sand onto the flames. Alright. The flames are stifled between the dirty sand and soil from the bucket. Okay, so I've done 2 of 3 things to help the walled city. Let's see here. Sparkling wires, broken water shutoff valve in the lower level, and burning tires past the marker. Okay. So it looks like we have a lower level here. I think what was supposed to happen, even though I triggered a fight without meaning to, was I was supposed to, I can't get past the guards. Then I was supposed to go talk to that spirit. And then he was supposed to go, on the lower level, you can punch in this code, and that was going to get me in the Lotus Den without fighting the guards. Well, I've already blown that, but I do want to check out the lower levels. And we are at 59 minutes, so I'm probably going to call that the video for now. And I think this is part 4, pretty sure, of the Shane Plays Let's Play series of Shadowrun Hong Kong. If you like the video, it helps me tremendously if you give it a like on YouTube, leave a thumbs up, and leave a comment. You can also always check out my blog at shaneplays.com, not only for Let's Plays, but for my Geek Talk radio show, other news articles involving gaming, and other geeky things like comic books and etc. So thanks so much for watching, and I'll see you next time on the Shane Plays Let's Play series of Shadowrun Hong Kong. Thanks for watching.